It's great to have you be part of our show today. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry.
And I'm Chioma Okohe.
All right, in a bit, we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see all that we have for you this morning. And in the GV just after that will be our main conversation for today. So we'll get everything all put down for you. Please do well to be part of our community. Have a say in what we say. We are at EnterpriseTVNews.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. With us today in the studios to do justice and perish through our newspaper headlines, Barrister Vansu Feli, a barrister at law and a public affairs analyst. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's kickstart our newspaper headlines today with the first daily. What do we have, John?
Yeah, we're starting with the Daily Trust newspaper. The big story here: Boko Haram kills many farmers, others in fresh Yobe attack. We have about 3 riders or 2 to that particular story. Burn houses, shops. State government plans mass burial. The last rider: insecurity disrupting agricultural activities. Northern governors.
All right, just on the top strip of the same newspaper, IGP Agbetoku gets a 3 years tenure extension. Okay,
moving on, still on the top strip. Amidst fuel scarcity, NNPCL to become sole buyer from Dangote refinery. That is coming from the report.
All right, so let's get into the core of our discussion today. And it's on the bottom strip of the same newspaper. Hashtag end bad governance. Lawyers, Amnesty International kick as court remands protesters in a prison. Barrister Vansu Feli, there's one area you are so very conversant about. It's your forte, actually. A situation where protesters are still being held.
Yes.
Amnesty International have come up to say this is really wrong. Of course, lawyers like you equally have said it is wrong. How do we draw the divide when those who understand this better are saying it's wrong, but the government of the day are having their way?
Yes, it's because the government is not democratic. From the get-go, from the very day this government came into power, they have never been democratic. Economically, you saw how they ruined the lives of people. Democracy should be people-centric, should be people-driven, so it should be pro-masses. And that is the stipulation that democracy comes with. It's not a military regime, not a military junta, where it is ruled by decree, by force, and by all forms of totalitarianism. So it is not the will of the people that they should be subjected to, conditions that are at variance with the laws of the land. Okay, so there's going to be resistance because the law is clear as to what protest means, okay, by Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution and what it entails. And if by any reason anyone is arrested under any circumstance, whether protest or whatsoever kind of situation, the law is also clear as to the fact that you should be charged to court within a specific time, okay? And if he's not charged to court within that time, he should be released unconditionally. Okay, that's just the basics for the law. But you see, we are not in a democratic society, we're in a democratic state. We're in a state where the government want to contain the people and force them to accept bad governance. Okay? So that is exactly what is going on. So this should call for another protest. No, that's the truth. You should call for another protest.
Okay, at this point where those who actually came out to protest initially are being detained,
yes,
would it still give Nigerians the heart or the strong will to still come out? Let's say October 1st to still protest.
Those who will protest will always protest. It doesn't matter how many people you arrest.
In fact, there was a protest yesterday in Abuja.
Yes.
For fuel scarcity.
For scarcity, there's a protest.
Now, in a country where we are having other important issues, strong problems that are actually affecting. We have fuel crisis now.
Yes.
That we have something like that. The prices of fuel are still increasing in the market.
That fuel crisis is tied to bad governance now.
That is it now. At this point, you're saying that they should call for another protest.
Yes.
Looking at it, those who suffer more are the poor. Because they're the ones that come out to complain. And those sitting in the higher strata of the society do not feel it. And they feel, okay, they could shut them up with some of these laws. And at this point, can our judiciary be trusted?
It's not. This one is not about judiciary.
But you just mentioned that we're not in a democratic...
No, you just pull out now to judiciary. I'm wondering why you are...
Because now...
Hold on. The judiciary is not the one detaining the protesters. But they have not been charged. It's only when they are charged, that's when you drag the judiciary in. The judiciary don't go out there on the street to ask police to go and bring
but they went
suspects.
to court yesterday.
You understand?
They were in court yesterday.
Now, we're saying the same thing now. We're saying the same thing. You see, I'm not defending judiciary or whosoever. People were arrested during the protest.
Yes.
Arrested and have been detained illegally across the country. Many of them have not been charged. How many persons were charged yesterday? How many were charged yesterday?
There were about 13 or so.
How many people were arrested across the country? Do you know a lot of people are just awaiting trial? That's the issue. That is not to say the judiciary don't have their own sins. You understand? But it's not the issue. Well, not judiciary issue we're talking about. We're talking about people detained illegally across the country as a result of protests. Okay? So, there should be another protest. Because, you see, it doesn't matter what we say here. Whether there should be protests or not. I hope you know. It doesn't matter.
But at this point now, I'm sorry to cut you short. At this point, we are saying there should be another protest. Is protest the answer to this question?
Protest is the answer. Okay. Maybe you have an answer or you have another answer. No, because see, even if you think protest is not the answer, even if you think protest is not the answer, you see, the law makes provision for protest when you are being maltreated. So, whether it's the answer or not, it's a secondary issue. Those who want to protest will exercise their right under the law.
Okay.
You understand? Now, and to say that whether protest is the answer in this situation, what else is the answer under the situation where the government is not willing to revert to the old price of the government that said there's no subsidy, said they are now paying subsidy. NNPC yesterday said they are owing, yes, they are owing, that is part of what they used to bring in, they are owing a lot. Not too long ago, they said they declare profit. So, you have this, you don't know what to believe any longer because NNPC is full of secrecy. And by their own undoing, unwittingly, they don't have a central stimulating information body. Anybody speaks. If we take camera now and go to NNPC now, if we get to the gate now, the gate man can start talking on their behalf.
True.
Then before you get in, you see maybe a cleaner. You interview that one, to that one will start. So that's NNPC. Everybody talks. They don't have a spokesman. Their leader is neither here nor there. So, what do you expect the citizens to now do?
All right. Just before we maybe move on to the next paper, I would have loved to ask you this, but if you may, maybe in 30 seconds or more, I have an image here of some of the protesters behind bars, and this throws my mind back to Concord newspaper in the 80s, where, of course, we have protesters like this, just the same image, a depiction of the same image. Is it fair to say this is similar to a civilian dictatorship? What we have
this is a complete civilian dictatorship, and those who are in power now were those who fought that government then. The 80s, you're talking about Babangida regime now. Yeah. Yes. During Babangida regime, so many people were, in fact, put in detention. So many. A lot of people also disappeared. Not just Abacha. Babangida did that too, very well. People just one very prominent journalist, Delegiwa, was killed during his regime.
True.
You understand? Allegations are flying all over the place that he has hand in it and all that. Till date, that has not been unraveled. So you see that this thing didn't start today. Even before the 80s, you had that issue. So people have been protesting since that time till now. Choma is talking about whether protest is the answer. You are even saying it this way because you did not witness military regime. Under the military regime, where, in fact, the way we are in those days, we'll start this show now, not conclude it. By evening, we'll be in detention. Yes, now, but you will understand what I'm saying. See, you were there now. We can start show and not complete it, but even we'll be in detention. So that's how it was then. So I'm telling you that the liberty now is something else. So for you to say people should not exercise that right, things will get worse. So what it will mean? The government is panicking right now. They're accusing people left, right, and center for treason, want to take over government. They are doing all that. Why are they doing it? Because people are voicing out. When you keep quiet, they will deepen this hardship to the point where people, we don't want to go back to that time when the hardship became so much that people were using sawdust to cook and all that. People were using cow dungs in Kaduna that time. They were using cow dungs to cook. And they were not really cooking anything reasonable. They were using to roast cocoyam. That's what people will be on for one straight week. A whole family.
Massive deforestation.
Yes.
The trees were being cut down massively.
Yes.
And
just that time, people would ransack their houses, bring out bottles. There used to be bottles, this soft drinks. Bring out all those bottles and go and sell it to feed the family. You don't know what people are going through in this country.
All right, so let's move on to the next daily. What do we have, John?
We have the Punch newspaper. The big story here. PDP governors may clash as NWC meets Wednesday. Details are on page 3. Well, how about to read us the particular story? NAC pressures NWC to hand over Rivers PDP to Fubara. And the last rider, PDP governors will address ministers' threats at meeting, says Forum DG.
By just on the top strip of the same newspaper, NNPCL may stop petrol import as depot price nears 1,000 naira to the litre.
Okay, moving on, still on the top strip, petrol will be exported if marketers boycott products that is coming from Dangote refinery.
And also on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, arrested Canada-based Nigerian woman threatening Yoruba risk 2-year jail.
And lastly, still on the bottom strip, external debt servicing rises to 2.78 billion naira, $2.78 billion. That's coming from the CBN.
All right, fine. So let's maybe talk about have so many interesting stories here, but let's maybe go to PDP governors. We came a clash as NWC meets on Wednesday. It seemed to everyone like Yelsom Wike is actually Nyesom Wike. That's give just me alone. Wike, all right, is it's beginning to look like he owns a PDP literally. Right, and the PDP is handcuffed as it's in now. What do you think is happening to the PDP?
Well, there's a story there, so I hope we are coming back to.
Yes,
Dangote is saying something.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So Wike's, why PDP made it so now? PDP gave Wike that authority because when he was summoned to be disciplined, he didn't. Some time ago, he refused to go, and he sent a message to them, warning them that no one have the power under PDP to discipline him. Yes, and he got away with it. When they had the Congress, when they wanted to pull it out of Rivers, and he threatened them never to try that, they succumbed. So consistently, he has proven that. And when the party was in disarray, when they lost the election then, and they have not been able to manage the party to stand very proper. Wike was there to do all that, but that's not the reason a whole political party should now be in someone's pocket. And he's been accused of anti-party activities, You understand? And the Wike I know, if you were the one that is being accused of anti-party activities, Wike will join forces with others to make sure you are expunged. Secondus, he was the one who brought Secondus in as the chairman of the party. And it didn't take him up to 2 weeks to conspire to throw him out when he wanted him to go out. You understand? So, but if he's now the one at the other side, he will now start to threaten everybody.
Now, how is it possible
that
to
he will put fire here,
him? Is it
put fire
possible
there.
to overtame him?
Yeah, you can tame him if the party have a leadership. You see, one thing Nigerians don't do is we don't look at the management of political party before we even choose one of them to lead us. You understand? Now, PDP, they are showing us clearly now that they cannot even be trusted with power at the center. They cannot. They cannot because they are not able to manage the political party, which is more of a liberal, which is an association. You know, a political party is an association. It's easier to govern an association than to govern a country.
Very true.
Because an association, you can come into terms and agreements, you can come into negotiation and all that. But to govern a country, there's a constitution, there are laws, there's a national assembly, there are other checks, okay? Which means the president cannot just, take action. So how do you now trust the PD? If we say we are tired of the APC and there's no third force, because all attempts to bring a third force has collapsed. So should we go back to PDP with what we are seeing? How are we going to manage that? And if I go back to PDP, who is the credible person? Is it Atiku or the same Wike?
All right.
Thank you, Barrister.
There's an interesting story.
We need to take this home and let's go with this. Let's get to this Dangote refinery story. Petrol will be exported if marketers boycott products. Now, does this look like they're trying to find a common ground at this point, trying to work as a team? If it's coming from Dangote, that petrol will be exported if marketers boycott products.
No, the news came out that NNPCL is going to be the sole purchaser.
Yeah.
So when the marketers heard that, they were like, because the truth is that I think Dangote is trying to, you see, that is why this Dangote man cannot be trusted. Not too long ago, he was shouting all over the place. Civil society gathered around him. The same marketers wrote a petition to the presidency. You've forgotten. They wrote they petitioned the presidency that Dangote should be given crude. They were fighting for him not too long ago.
Very true.
Now you are already making way to enter into an agreement between the NNPCL to now be the sole distributor. So that the marketers will come and buy under NNPC. And then before they get to the end users, the price would have gone beyond 1,000 naira.
Which actually brings us to the same issue that we have.
Yes. So what is the essence of this refinery? So we now have a local refinery, but we want to use bureaucracy to take the price back to what it used to be when you were importing it.
But the truth.
That's what you're trying to do.
But the truth remains, Barrister, NNPC still holds 7.2% of the company. So
17.
7.2. It used to be
7.2.
Yes.
Yes.
So don't you think that is a fair advantage for them? At least if Dangote should sell, they should be the first, unless they say they're not interested.
NNPC, forget about this thing. They say they turn it to private company. It's a public company. I know that it's registered as a limited liability now. But that is never the objective of, even if it's a limited liability, check the shareholding. How many public do you have shareholding? It's not the same government. So I think this is just another very complicated story waiting for us again. When are we going to end this? And why would NNPC allow for that? Even if people even if people want it that way, or they are pushing NNPC to have it that way, why would NNPC agree to do that? Why can't you deregulate this space so that the buyers can get directly from Dangote, so that the price will reduce? That is why the president said that they should give him crude. Now they have given him crude. He has gone back to swim with the elite. He was thrown away to go and swim with the shark before.
And he cried to us. Also.
Yes, it became. Somebody even said that Dangote will be the one to lead the protest.
Okay, thank you.
That time, you know.
Thank you, Barrister Philly. Thank you. I have to cut it short now, not because we want to, but because we have to move ahead.
All right, so this is just about the time we have for this segment. Thank you to Barrister Philly, and just to let you know that he will be here to take us on the conversation, of course, and more.
Yeah, when we return, high-stakes manhunt on the way as police declare British national and Nigerian citizen wanted for alleged plot to overthrow President Tinubu. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back.